Hey guys, I'm not usually doing any recordings for YouTube, but maybe I'll do later. Want to share some results and get even better results. But it's for everybody who's on the carnivore stuff and lion diet. So I'm eating beef only, and there are lots of people that talk about beef only diet. But in reality, they actually eat bacon and eggs, and some of them eat butter. I mean, kudos to you and all the respect to you. I mean, we all do what we need to do for our health, right? But it's kind of confusing. I can share a million things that don't exist on YouTube. I have discovered absolutely crazy things about the carnivore diet, and that no one talks about. Absolutely insane. The one of the ideas is so when people say they eat beef, salt, and water. And some people do well, some people don't do well. Well, let me tell you one of the things that nobody talks about. What kind of water do you drink? See, one of the major problems that we have in the carnivore community is muscle cramps that happen to appear to some people. Actually, not a small amount of them that happen to appear to some people within the first year or two when they start, going carnivore and eat just beef, salt water, eggs, and pork. And the question is, why do some people have magnesium deficiency or potassium deficiency? Well, no one talks about what kind of water do you drink. Let me give you a very small example. So I have, let's say, regular, this is like some just alkaline water, right? This is like a regular, just a good alkaline water. If you look at the things that it contains, you can actually find that it has magnesium, that it has potassium, that it has calcium, sulfates, and all that stuff. You can see that, for example, this water has 2 to 20 milligrams per liter of potassium. And we, on average, as Google says, but again, if you're deficient, you need more than the average. You need somewhere around 4,700 potassium per day. But this data is for regular people that consume God knows what, right? They consume carbonates, and we consume meat. We don't consume any carbs. So it's a very big. First of all, it's a very big question. Do we need so much potassium or not? Well, it depends on your nervous system. It depends on how active you are. Because when you are very active, you burn magnesium too. You burn lots of B vitamins. You burn potassium. You have your own health level. Let me give you an example. And then we have, for example, a pure mineral mountain water. I live in Russia, so we have our own. You live in your own country, we have our own. But the specialty of this water right? So everybody says, I eat meat, salt, and water. Let me give you an example. This water, I don't know if you can see that, right? Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it, but this water contains 4,000 of potassium per liter, per 1 liter. So this one barrel, which is half a liter, contains 2,000 potassium. This is an insanely potent potassium water, which is natural. Let me give you an example of what's going to happen. So, if you're on a carnivore and you just drink regular water, you just buy, for example, some regular water, you might start off slow, you get off the carbs, and then you have this like increase of energy, just like I had, which is like insane. I felt like I could do anything. 2 hours of sports every day when I never had so much energy. Then I started to take D3K2, which eventually I found I have inflammation towards. And when you take D3K2 vitamin, because we don't have sun, all day round. I'm not living in the south, like some of y'all people do. So I'm definitely living in a sun deficient environment. And it's a very big philosophical question. Should I take D3K2 supplements or not? I don't know. Not a lot of people discuss this. So I'm like, well, summer is over. Have to take some. Start taking it. Guess what? I didn't know about this. D3K2 requires magnesium in order to be properly digested by your body. I didn't know about this. So my magnesium levels were already low even before going full, line diet. Props to Michaela, always, Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Hope you're doing well. So, I was already magnesium deficient for probably the last 15 years, I realize. I'm potassium deficient too, probably. But I was definitely magnesium deficient for the past 15 years. So I went on the lion diet and I eat only beef. I tried eggs and I have inflammation on eggs. Maybe I can eat some other eggs, maybe not chicken eggs, maybe duck eggs, but it takes some time because I had such a horrible inflammation. I don't want to try anything more right now. I just want to have some time to recover. Then I had several months of a peak energy. I felt better than when I was 15. I'm 35 right now. I felt better and I have more energy when I was 15. I had peak energy, eating beef only. And I thought, with no additional supplements. And 2 months later, I started to take D3K2. And within a month, like 4 weeks, I started to feel like I never had muscle cramps. So I didn't know what it is. And initially I didn't know what it is. I started to have this like my infinite powers started to disappear. Like I feel like a human again. I didn't like it because you do feel inhuman on a properly on a proper line diet. You feel inhuman. And then I had my first muscle cramp at night. And I thought, well, everybody talked about this, so what should I do, right? And I started to have muscle cramps. About 4 weeks after I started to take D3K2 vitamin, which actually draws your magnesium. So I was already magnesium deficient. And then D3K2 made me very quickly even more deficient. And for the past 3 months, I'm having very deep experimentation because I'm trying to elevate my magnesium, and it turns out that, for example, you just make a quick Google of what kind of magnesium is the best, and the Google will tell you the best magnesium is magnesium glycinate or bisglycinate, right, as they say. Well, guess what? I can't tolerate it. And I think it's just very important for me to say it because I know some of you will definitely experience it. 2 years ago, I almost died. And I had I went to the doctors, and some of the things the doctors gave me, including all the hormones, the hormonal pills that I have to take, is of course lots of vitamins. And they told me, well, take magnesium glycinate, it helps you to sleep. So I was taking it for 2 years. I never slept. I was also taking theanine, not thiamine, but theanine, which is like a tea extract, to soothe myself down. Some valerian roots, some tryptophan, because I wasn't carnivore yet, and magnesium glycinate. I still have it somewhere. Oh no. Some glycinate. Let me see. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. Right? Bisglycinate, glycinate, same thing. So I took it for 2 years, and 2 years I had insomnia. When you Google it, it tells you it helps you with sleep. It shows that, whatever kind of relief promotes healthy sleep. Well, nope, not in my case. It promotes insomnia in my case. It actually gave me so much energy I couldn't sleep. And only when I went full lion diet only, and started to introduce even some supplements one by one, I started to see exactly the influence of each supplement. Exactly. And when I had no magnesium and beef only, I slept better than I slept when I was like 12. I finally slept. Then I started to take D3K2, it drawed out my magnesium. I started to have muscle cramps. I bought this magnesium glycinate and I had insomnia. I couldn't believe it. I was very lucky to find out that, well, this is another experiment. In cases of a very severe B1 deficiency, which is thiamine deficiency, which actually doesn't really exist, well, it almost non-existent in beef, but it exists in pork. When you have very deep levels of thiamine deficiency, that you could start having, 20 years ago. So you could have insane levels of deficiency. You are probably intolerable to the magnesium glycinate. So started to try another form of magnesium, citrate, right? Another popular one. Well, everybody knows what happens when you take a citrate. You have very hot diarrhea. So you started to have diarrhea 5 times a day. And when you have diarrhea, your magnesium levels go even lower. And your potassium levels go even lower. And 2 days ago, I almost had a heart attack. I couldn't really walk. I went out to my park, walked 2 minutes, and I felt like I'm gonna lose consciousness and my heart is gonna stop. It was like really hard to come back home and figure out that this is definitely potassium deficiency. Because when you have hot diarrhea many times a day, you lose lots of potassium and you lose lots of magnesium. So you have to elevate magnesium and potassium. So magnesium citrate in my case doesn't work. Third thing, never ignore this. You have to take your magnesium with food. Digests better. Took me several days to figure this out, maybe 2 or maybe several weeks, I don't know, like I lost count. I'm suffering too much to even count. I have so many days I haven't slept. I have so many things that create pain. I just figure out today that I have well, everybody knows this company in general supposed to be good. I never liked it when it says D3, MK7. Every vitamin you look at, it says vegetarian. I don't like it. Well, I have inflammation to that too. I take D3, K2, MK7. That is supposed to be like the most digestible form ever. Well, this MK2, this K2 from MK7 is actually from chickpea. Well, chickpea is a vegetable and has carbonates, and every time I took it for the past 3 days, my back starts to hurt and I have fog in my brain. So today I didn't take it. No inflammation. You will never see these things until you just go beef only. Until you just go beef only and see what exactly happens to your body. So coming back to the point of beef, salt, and water. See, some of y'all drink regular water, so it has close to zero potassium. Some of y'all can drink mountain water that has 4,000 potassium per liter, which will completely change the way you feel about yourself. Some of y'all drink some other water that has lots of magnesium. There are types of mountain waters that has about 400 magnesium per liter. Per liter. So of course you're gonna have no muscle cramps. Of course you're gonna sleep better. And some of you live in a southern, area, spend more time outdoors, so your vitamin D is higher naturally. So you don't take vitamin D3, you get some sparkling water and you're completely unaware that it has, some elevated levels of magnesium. You go full carnivore, you feel amazing. And then another person, living in Canada, Norway, England, Germany, Russia, northern China, whatever. You eat the same food. You get beef and eggs every day. And you just drink regular water. Yeah, for the first 6 months you could get, very much elevated. You can get way better results than before. You can get, of course, everything healed. But it's not just about a short-term result. It's about, whether we can sustain it for life. And this magnesium and potassium incremental changes that, all it takes is to be just like 5% deficient in magnesium every day. 5% deficient in magnesium every day. Like 2%. Let's say 2% of being magnesium deficient every day. Think about what it means. And these 2% are completely dependent on the water that you drink. You just change water, and some water has, 50 milligrams of magnesium per liter, and another one has 100 magnesium per liter. 100 milligrams of magnesium per liter. That's it. You just change water. And this will make the difference between having a heart attack that I almost had 2 days ago, because I was completely deficient of magnesium and potassium. Of course, having 5 diarrheas a day, you will be. To going completely normal again for the rest of your life and having amazing health. Nobody talks about it. Nobody. So because they say, it's like beef, salt, and water. Beef, eggs, salt, and water. Well, nobody asks what kind of water. And also, I would also say, what kind of salt? You cannot go regular salt. No. You have to go natural sea salt, natural Himalayan salt that has minerals. So yeah, I mean, I'm not even talking about the fact that I haven't washed my hair for not almost 10 months. 10 months, and my hair, no shampoo, no conditioner, just cold water several times a week, maybe three, 4 times a week. And I have the best hair of my life. The best hair in my life. And you will have the best hair in your life. And the transitional period is actually just, well, I've already shared this info with some of my folks in Russia. I have 200 people that are studying from me every day. So I have like male group and female group in Russian with whom I'm share lots of information on health, relationships, money, and all of the information is completely like unorthodox information that you cannot find anywhere else, because that's like kind of the way my life goes and the things that I discover. I'm not promoting anything because you don't know Russian anyway. And so yeah, the shampoo industry is a complete lie too. I also stopped brushing my teeth except with sea salt. And everybody knows that when you eat just beef, maybe it will change when I eat eggs, but probably not. When you eat just beef, there is no smell in your mouth. And so the question is, why would you use a toothpaste, which is a chemical that you would never eat, but when you put it on in your mouth, it enters your blood system. So it's a very it's actually it's not even questionable that you shouldn't use a toothpaste, because there is nothing to clean when you have no inflammation, when you have no rotting in your stomach, you don't have a bad breath. So all I do is I clean my teeth with sea salt. I just spoon out with a toothbrush some sea salt in the evening. And in the morning I take, of course, 20 drops. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that! Of course, 20 drops of legal solution. We pray to legal solution every day. In the morning, 20 drops. And I just, before I swallow it, I just hold it in my mouth, so that every possible germ would be destroyed. Everybody who is capable of just appearing in my mouth would be destroyed, because it's a very potent stuff and everybody should take it. Pray for J. Crow. Yeah. And right now I'm on a B1 protocol, because well, I have to try. I still have my feet cold and my hands cold for the past 2 years. And I know that in some cases iodine helps while I'm taking lots of iodine for more than a year. It helped me to detox, but didn't help me to get warmer. I take cold showers for about 1.5 years every day. Well, at least I never got sick, and I got used to it. So cold showers are definitely, something that gives you lots of energy. It's a great thing. But I'm still having my hands and my feet very cold, and I made an experiment. I dropped beef. The only exception for the past 6 months that I'm eating beef only was 3 days that I started to eat just pork. And I saw some positives and I saw some negatives because I'm coming from a very bad health. One of the positives is that my mood was very much elevated, so pork gave me amazing mood. It gave me lots of heat. I started to become warmer. But the question is that when you eat pork, you don't consume beef. And so the beef benefits go away. And then, it's just like, things happen in life. Next time I ordered pork from the village, they put something in a bag so that it won't melt in the summer. I don't know how it's called in English, but they put something, to protect its temperature, and this chemical melted to the pork, and I got poisoned. And I was so fucked up from this, realizing that of course I cannot eat pork from the store. It's dumb. It's God knows what they feed them. But my favorite village where I was ordering pork from literally poisoned me by adding some kind of chemical in the bag with the pork that melted when they transported this pork to me into the pork, and I didn't know about it. And it led to me being poisoned, and I said, fuck all of this, I'm just going to take vitamins and see whether it works or not. So I'm on B1 megadosing right now. I'm megadosing 1000, this is 100. I'm megadosing 1000 milligrams of B1 for the past 4 weeks. I'm alive, as you can see, but I'm still not having. I was also experimenting with benfotiamine. So it was like a combination. At one point it was like 1600, but when you take so much B vitamins, it just draws your magnesium and your potassium at insane levels. So I have to complement it with an insane levels of magnesium and potassium. You have to increase them too. And when you don't really increase them, you get insomnia. So it's like a havoc right now. Yeah, no, see, it's just. Life. Well, at least you know that you can survive getting 1000 of B vitamin every day, but results, I don't know. I'm definitely deficient in B1. I'll try pork again and see what happens. Anyway, I wanted to share with you information about about this very important thing. If you're just eating beef, or for example beef, salt, eggs and water, nobody says what kind of water. Because if you're just 2%, think about it, if you're just 2% magnesium deficient, well, 2% in 50 days becomes 100%. So for the 50 days, on a complete carnivore diet, you'll be doing fine. And then on the 51st, you will get muscle cramps. And you could never know why. And all it takes is just changing the water, or the easiest way. And you could have muscle cramps from being potassium deficient, because if you eat just beef, you're actually not getting enough lots of potassium. If you calculate, Google says you need 4,700 of potassium every day, but if you eat 1 kilo of beef every day, you only get 3,300 of potassium every day. So you're gonna get potassium deficient too. Or probably not. God knows how it works. Nobody really knows everything. And so the only thing that you might change is finding some mountain water from the mountain, and look at the amount of magnesium and potassium that you have there, and make sure that you buy something that has elevated levels of that. So you will continue with just beef, salt and water, where you just change water and you're no longer potassium and magnesium deficient, and you're doing fine. See? Nobody says that on YouTube. Nobody. And yeah, head and shoulders. All the shampoo industry is a lie. Anyways, good luck to everybody.